You're listening to the Clutter Fairy Weekly, a weekly webcast and podcast brought to you by the Clutter Fairy in Houston, Texas. If you'd like to participate in one of our live webcasts, please visit cfhou.com/weekly. You'll find a calendar of upcoming webcasts, as well as instructions for joining the Zoom meeting via the app or by phone. We'd love to see you. That URL again is cfhou.com/weekly. Now here's the weekly episode. Enjoy.
Hi, Clutter Fairy fans. This is the Clutter Fairy Weekly for July 21st, 2026. I'm your co-host, Ed Gumnick, and I'm speaking with Gayle Goddard, certified professional organizer and owner of the Clutter Fairy in Houston, Texas.
Hi, everybody. The Clutter Fairy Weekly is the webcast and podcast that digs deep into the clutter that piles up between you and the life that you want to be living. We explore the habits and behaviors that lead to clutter, and we suggest strategies to slow the accumulation, reduce the collection, and comfortably manage the stuff we decide to keep.
If you're new to our Zoom meeting, we want to let you know that you can share your comments and questions via the chat, and I'll try to make sure Gayle addresses them before we move on to another topic. You can also use the raise hand feature if you'd like to ask a question or make a comment yourself via audio or video. And we are streaming the webcast live on Facebook, so you can share questions and comments there, and I'll relay them to Gayle. We're going to start by talking about last week's weekly tittle, which was called Setting Boundaries on Other People's Stuff. The assignment was to set a boundary to address an item of other people's stuff in your space. Let's hear from our participants in Zoom and on Facebook. Who set a new boundary against other people's stuff this week? Please let us know in the comments. YouTube viewer Siofissa shared an interesting comment on last week's video. This is not really a tittle report, but I liked it and wanted to share it. Siofissa writes, I had trouble getting everything back from my parents when I had the space to take the rest. My dad was really sentimental and attached to some of my childhood stuff.
So let this serve as a warning to any of you out there who are still taking advantage of the free storage at mom's and dad's house. When your stuff sticks around too long, you run the danger of losing custody of it for good. But it also reflects the fact that parents feel very sentimental about the kids' stuff way more than the kids do, because you're an adult when you interact with that stuff and have memories around it, and the kids are little and they don't remember the stuff that you're super fascinated with. So yeah, they may hang on to it as sentimental. They say they're saving it for you, but they're really saving it for themselves. We also heard back from Carla, and so there was an extra tittle report that we shared last week, and Carla told us about 6 pieces of furniture that she set free, and we were really curious to know more. Ed, do you want to give us an update about Carla's furniture?
Yeah, last week we shared Carla's report on clearing a really impressive amount of excess furniture from various rooms in her house. And we were curious. We asked in the show if Carla would get back to us and let us know how long that took, because it sounded like a lot of work. And Carla shared some more details in a comment this week. She writes, thank you guys for taking my comment. One family member took the kitchen rack and porch table. Another one took the round table, and we donated the rest. It only took about a month to get it all out. I'll report back about progress in the attic. That's the next project she said she's taking on.
Right.
She also mentioned that she paid someone to take away the donations, but that the price was reasonable and totally worth it.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, investing a little bit of money to get the support of having the stuff go away is sometimes money that people don't expect to pay. You know, donating something feels like you should just do it yourself and not have to spend money for it. But especially because she was focusing on furniture, one presumes larger items, then having that support so that you're not breaking your back to get stuff out of the house is totally worth it. And I can't imagine how much floor space that she's cleared because she's let so many big pieces of furniture go. Like, that's really amazing. She must have made a big impact on the space in her house.
Definitely. Jacqueline says, I did a huge sort/reorganize on my partner's papers since they were out of control. He normally never opens or reads his mail. I just sort everything into file folders for him. He decided to read through all of his papers, but that meant taking things out of sorted folders, and it all became a giant pile, especially because a friend of his came over and he hid/dumped everything in the guest room. Oh,
Oh.
also, I sold a bunch of the Geo coins that I had up for auction and have made more than $500 so far. And I
Oh,
still have more coins for sale.
that's awesome. So great. You're turning your collection back around and getting some of the money back that you invested in it. That's super cool. And, I'm sorry that he started looking at the mail as a project and made a big scramble of your sorting. But I think having him look at your sorted piles means that you were looking at it the way you sorted it and not necessarily the way that he would sort it. And even so, he still has to open it and decide whether it's going to go or not. And so having it all be open was kind of inevitable. And the fact that he did it in a more scramblized way is probably, super annoying. But maybe it means that you can change how you sort. Like maybe you sort from things I think are probably junk and things I think are probably important, and just make those two distinctions instead of a more elaborate sorting process, so that he can focus on the things that you think are probably more important, um, and skip the not important stuff until later. And then maybe he'll be opening a smaller pile, or he won't be opening all of it at once. He'll be opening part. Anyway, sorry, sorry, he scramblized your sorting. That's annoying, but it was good that he was starting to open it, and hopefully then being willing to throw out some of it because it was clearly not important anymore, or it had aged, or it had been handled, or whatever was going on with it. So yeah, there you go. Okay.
Jane reports, I've been setting boundaries on what can stay that's left from past relationships. The jewelry with bad memories is already gone.
Ooh, that's exciting. That's the kind of stuff you definitely want to get rid of, right? And some people don't, because they feel like, I don't know, that some people, because they feel hurt, they feel like the thing needs to be there to remind them that they got hurt. And
Hmm.
and I sort of take the opposite take. It's like, you don't need to be reminded that you got hurt. I'm pretty sure you remember.
Right.
And maybe you don't want to be think,
Well, and if
thinking
you
about it constantly,
and what a mercy if you do manage to forget.
right?
You
Like,
know,
just let that roll
like
on by.
don't you have enough don't you have enough hurts and resentments and unpleasant memories to last a lifetime without,
Yeah.
working to keep some of them alive?
Yeah.
Um, the
100%.
CJ reports hubby and I discussed finally taking time this upcoming weekend to start going through some of our late parents' items we've been tucking away to
Oh,
avoid the emotional hurdle, with the goal of to have more room for guests.
right. And that's, you're letting go of past life to create space for current life. And that's a good goal. And you don't just remember, you don't have to finish it all at once. And, and it's probably not going to be as bad as you think. Most people that anticipate being distressed by dealing with their family stuff do have some sad feelings while they do it, but it's not usually as strong or debilitating as they think it's going to
As
be.
they anticipated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so yes, it's hard, and yes, you have sad responses to things, and you remember things, and it and you feel uncomfortable, but it's not as debilitating or destroying in the moment as you think. And you can take the time as you are triggered, as you feel something come up, to stop and talk about it a little bit, and honor the moment and what you're feeling, and then be able to go back and continue to work on it. So the fact that there's two of you means that you guys can talk about it. You can tell each other the stories. You can, say, oh, that's, I remember that too, or that's a great story, or aren't you glad that you remembered that? And you can have those conversations and support each other through your emotional response to the stuff, and then keep going. And so good luck. And I hope it goes well. And I hope that you're able to release some things that you really don't need to save anymore. And talk about the fact that you are having a memory, and the memory isn't the item, the memory is in your head. And so the memory will still be there whether you have the item or not. Just a thought.
Um, Jane added on the subject of the jewelry. It took decades to let some of that jewelry go. I've
Mm.
decided to reward myself with a beautiful new necklace that I love and will wear. As a reminder, I sold
Oh,
the old jewelry for the gold.
right. So you got a little cash out of the deal. And I think one necklace reward for releasing a whole bunch of stuff and doing all that work is, I think that's a reasonable response. You're not replacing all of the pieces with new pieces. You're just getting one. And so go for it. Turn it into something that you like. That's about you. Good job.
M says, I decided to put inspirational junk into one pile, which turned out to be probably a 4 foot cube. This made it easy to see the foolishness of keeping all of it. Editing is
Right.
much easier when I see it outside its usual places.
Right. So you sort of made a like pile of inspirational stuff and realized how big the pile was. That's good. That's a good reference. And I think you can, at the very least, you can take photographs if you feel like you need to keep it all. But a 4 foot cube of stuff for inspiration, it's like in any given moment, somebody who's looking for inspiration can go find it. Like you can scroll through websites, you can look at photography, you can look out the window. I
You,
think that there's plenty of ways to
you
inspire yourself without retaining all the stuff.
right, turn on the music app on one of your devices and press shuffle, and inspiration will come pouring out of the device, right?
Right? Yeah, I mean, I think that there's you don't want to surrender a 4 foot cube of your space to things that are just supposed to inspire you. And I think unless you have an excess of space that you want to burn, but if you need that 4 foot of space for something else, that 4 foot cube, then pick your favorites out of the pile and let the rest be photographs that you take or things that you just release, and trust that there will be other inspiration that appears when you need it in your life. The fun things, all the fun things you see in your life don't have to stay with you. You can see them and release them, and other fun things will come later.
Okay, one more comment, which I want to share because it will be a nice segue into what we're talking about
Okay.
today. Jade says, I need to go in half an hour, but I just want to say I discovered that the results of cleaning feel like shopping. Cleaning makes everything
Ooh,
nice and clean and new. So that's a nice transition to today's topic. Do
right.
you continue to enjoy shopping even though you reached a place in your life where you need almost nothing? The dopamine rush from acquiring something new can keep us hooked on the hunt, even as we labor to manage the stuff we already own. Today, we're going to explore why many of us struggle to break the retail therapy habit and suggest alternative outlets to scratch the shopping itch.
Ed found a really interesting article from the Washington Post by Jenna.
You,
It's spelled Ryu, and I think it's Ryu.
right? I
Forgive
would
us if
think,
we're butchering your name,
right?
Jenna. My apologies. Anyway, she's talking about this idea that our desire to shop and why we seek the dopamine rush over and over again, even though we don't actually need to buy anything else. She writes, it comes down to how our brains get swept up in the fantasy of buying things. She spoke to several experts, and I want to quote one of them, Lindsay Bryan Podvin, who is a certified financial therapist and author of The Financial Anxiety Solution. She says the entire experience of shopping can be pleasurable. It's browsing, it's deciding what you want to add to your cart. It's the excitement of hitting enough in your cart to get a coupon. It's the excitement of tracking your packages. Spending is such a proxy for so many feelings. So making sure you have other ways to acknowledge those feelings and deal with the potential discomfort they bring is going to be really important. Ms. Brian Podvin is speaking of what we called retail therapy back in the day. What did you do when you were sad or overwhelmed or depressed? You went shopping. Did you fight with your spouse or your boss or your mom? Go buy a new purse. Spending a little money alleviated those negative feelings for a little while. It gave you a little dopamine rush and got you out of the house in a new environment for a few hours. Of course, nowadays you can get the dopamine hit without getting into the car. Whether it's ordering food online to be delivered to the house, or replacing the toilet paper that's running low, or buying some luxury item you've been dreaming to own, shopping is a pleasurable distraction from whatever feelings you don't want to feel right now. Interestingly enough, brain imaging studies show that the feel good hormone dopamine peaks during the anticipation of an acquisition rather than when the item is finally used. In other words, buying something is the most fun part, not the actual owning and using the thing that we bought. In recognition of the fact that shopping is the fun part, not the owning and the using, the article talked about South Korea's dopamine sites. It's a new type of website that's designed to simulate the act of shopping without the cost. It mimics the shopping experience. You still feel the thrill of selecting, ordering something, and tracking the package, but you aren't actually ordering anything or paying for anything. You can pretend to order goods or food from restaurants to be delivered. You pick colors and sizes of clothes or modify the food order to your preferences, etc. It creates a dopamine hit of shopping without the actual consequences. However, because the sites are so new, there isn't enough data to tell yet whether it changes actual shopping behavior or not. It may be that over time, the novelty of these fake sites, the fake shopping, wears off and you return to the real shopping. But in the short term, it would certainly keep you from real buying while you're doing the fake shopping, at least. The problem with chasing dopamine hits, whether you're dealing with a serious emotional challenge or just navigating this week's difficult feelings, is that dopamine as a mood regulation technique is so temporary. It doesn't actually stop any negative feelings you're having at the moment. It's just like a slot machine. You have to keep hitting the button to keep getting the temporary thrill and the distraction from how you feel. If you're shopping and spending real money, that means there's an endless stream of packages coming your way that's adding to the chaos in your house, all in the attempt to regulate bad feelings. That temporary relief costs real money. Money you could spend with a therapist instead and get more permanent relief, by the way. And that temporary relief is creating a new problem of managing all the packages and dealing with all the new stuff that you don't actually need, but now need to find a way to add to your limited storage space and closets. I'm saying it doesn't help long term, and it creates new problems on top of it. The fun is fleeting, and the storage problem is permanent. So now we need to recognize that shopping is not the best solution to any bad feeling we're avoiding, and it creates new problems on top of it. And that means we need to find other ways besides money online to be entertained and feel better. The goal is to replace the temporary dopamine rush of buying with activities that provide a genuine sense of accomplishment, relaxation, or joy. For example, we have a list here. Creative hobbies is the top of the list. So activities like beading, sketching, beading I do, sketching Ed does,
Right.
playing an instrument or photography provide a constructive creative outlet and a deep sense of accomplishment. I've spent many hours focused on a beading project and was totally distracted from my feelings by being creative. Creative hobbies are a very diverting and mentally absorbing pastime. You have to focus so completely on what you're doing that you really are dialed in to where the pencil's going on the paper, where I'm making my next stitch, and it completely fills up your mind with focusing on what you're actually physically doing. It's a great distraction. Physical movements on the list as well. Going for a dopamine walk. So biking, practicing yoga, all that is boosting your mood, reduces stress, and release endorphins naturally. I've recently been exercising in a pool a few times a week, and it definitely gives me an emotional boost. I know Ed goes swimming several times a week as well, and I'm guessing
I
you have the
do.
same response, right?
Oh yeah, I do 25 laps three times a week. That's it's a 50, I guess it's a
Almost an hour.
yeah, and I'm trying to think it's a 50-meter pool. Is that right? 50 meters it's 25 meters each length. So yeah.
Each lap.
Yeah. So
But you're keeping yourself occupied for 50 minutes. You
oh yeah,
can't
and
stop while you're in the pool.
well, right. And now of course I am not somebody who has to work really hard to avoid shopping, but
I know.
but yeah, I mean the physical activity definitely is a great outlet for whatever is on my mind.
Whatever
That
is
yeah,
just distracting you in the
if
moment,
anything's
right?
troubling me after 50 minutes in the pool, it's troubling me a whole lot less.
Right, exactly. Another way that you can divert yourself is with immersive learning. So feed your mind by learning stuff, either through learning apps, listening to podcasts, take a class, read books. Actively taking in new knowledge instead of shopping is a great way to be diverted from your stress or boredom or feelings for a while. I think that people discount this. I mean, we have gotten used to the idea of being on our phones and watching things go by, watching videos, uh, either live or taped options, and you can spend a lot of time looking at that. And if you're doing that instead of shopping, it's probably a good thing. But you can target how you waste your time on the phone or on your device by concentrating on learning something you want to know or that you find interesting, and let yourself be diverted by taking in new information instead of shopping. Another easy one that people don't do as well anymore is you can go talk or chat online with your friends. Interacting with someone is a great way to not be shopping. It takes a while to write a text message. Being on the phone eats up time too. So call someone you've been missing. Text them first to make sure it's a good time to talk, and then get to chatting. I call and talk to people that I've known for a long time, and I can be on the phone for an hour with them. And are we changing the world while we're having our conversation? No, but we are strengthening our friendships and catching up with each other. And I am not spending any money while I'm on the phone with them. So it's a good technique to keep you busy, to keep your mind busy, and get the benefit of sharing your lives back and forth with somebody. It's a good thing to add. Another one I thought up was to plan a vacation. That's a real good way to build excitement for yourself. You can research what fun things there are to do and have something to look forward to. Travel can be budget friendly too, and there are a million websites and podcasts on economical travel ideas. So even if you feel like it's something that you can't afford, you can research budget friendly alternatives and check out all the people that publish material about that idea. Another good way to spend learning time is to research that place that you want to visit. So I've always wanted to go to fill in the blank. I've always wanted to go to Brazil. So then you can do all the research about what's going on in Brazil. What do you want to do while you're there? What are the important historical sites to visit? What kind of activities do you want to get up to? Where do you want to eat? And you can chase down how to do it all according to your budget. So even if you can't go right now, you can plan for a time in the future when you can go. You can get all into the social media about anywhere you want to go and get great advice from those who have actually been or who live there. Vacation planning can be as elaborate as you want it to be. So spend some time on researching your next trip, what to do and see and eat, creating a budget for it based on real costs, and seeing how you can make it happen. That will take a lot of your time, and you'll be imagining your experience as you work on it, making you really excited as you do it. So it's very diverting from shopping. You don't need to buy plane tickets. You just need to research what the cost might be, or alternative ways to get there, or chasing down budget-friendly ways to travel in this environment, in this location. And so there's so much travel support and research out there because there's so many content creators that use the content creation as a way to get to travel where they want to go. And so they're giving you real-time solutions on the place where they are and what kind of sightseeing they did and what kind of food they ate. And so there's lots of research out there. So chase it down. Okay. So next, for when you feel the impulse to shop and you're struggling to curb it, let's talk about some strategies to manage the urge. If your alternative activities don't stop you from wanting to shop and you're still feeling like, oh God, I really want to be buying something, then let's talk about some strategies to manage it. The first one is you can audit and organize things. So instead of bringing new things into the home, try cleaning out the closet, organizing your pantry, or detailing your car. It satisfies the desire for novelty and control without costing any money. I can totally vouch for this one. Organizing an area of the house gives me great satisfaction that something is under better control. And I will have spent a really long time working on organizing something and not, clearly then I'm not shopping during all of that time. So it is definitely a great way to, if you dive into cleaning out your closet or cleaning your car, you're not going to be able to spend money in that moment. And so it's a good thing to do. It's a good diversion. We've talked about this one before. I think it's important to implement the 24-hour rule when you're shopping, particularly online. So when an impulse to buy strikes, you've clicked the button, you've gone to the website, you're like, oh my gosh, I totally believe all their marketing material and am completely certain that everything that they say is true and I have to have it. And so you can put that in the cart, but I think it's important to wait 24 hours before you actually complete the purchase so that the initial emotional spike that you get as you read all the stuff fades off. We've
That's
just,
the psychology behind Best Buy's deal of the day is don't give them 24 hours to think about it.
right?
And similar promotions like no, this is the only day you can get this price.
This coupon is expiring in 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They want you shopping quickly and not thinking. And so we're saying, let's put it in the cart. Put it in the cart of the website you're shopping, but don't complete the purchase. You can waste hours filling a cart with all sorts of things and then wait until tomorrow to read the shopping cart again and look at the actual total costs and decide if you really need it. I think some people click, 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 click to add things to the shopping cart, and then they go to check out and they don't pay any attention to the total. And I'm saying you can click all you want and put it in the shopping cart, but then you should walk away for 24 hours and have, the non stimulated person come back the next day and open the shopping cart and look at, and that the total is $500. And perhaps you need to step back from that. Like that's probably not what you intended to do for the evening, was to spend $500. And so stop and look at it the next day, look at the actual total that you're committing to, and decide whether that's something you can afford to spend. We all know that we can add money to our credit cards, but we don't actually have to. And adding to the credit cards is just creating we're going to pay the $500 and then we're going to pay interest while we try to pay off the $500. And so it's going to cost you extra money on top of it. And so it's a back end problem for that one day's excitement of clicking things into the shopping cart. So pay attention, but pause. You can put things in the cart for your entertainment, but pretend like it's fake and don't actually buy it. And Amazon is quite, adept at sending you email messages that says, hey, you left some things in your shopping cart. Like, ain't nobody forgetting it's there, because the company's going to come back to you and go, did you forget about this? Or didn't you want to buy this? You forgot. You put it in the cart, but you didn't. Right. They're going to prompt you. So don't worry about it being a problem, because the companies are going to make sure you remember that you filled it up. And you can still ignore it. So let's focus on that. Another thing you can do to help you with the, drive, the impulse to shop, is to remove the temptation. So unsubscribe from all those retail emails that are saying, here's our sale today, here's our discount today, here's our, we have something new that you haven't bought yet. And, oh, isn't it time for you to restock the coffee that you bought last week? And no. So they're going to, send you a bunch of emails. Every time you buy online, you get on somebody's list. So go and unsubscribe from those lists, block some of the shopping apps, erase your saved payment methods. So they want you to save a payment method so that it's easy and quick to shop. And we say, don't save it, make it hard, so that when you are going to go check out of your cart, you have to go type in the payment method again.
You have to go get your
Make
purse
it
or your wallet.
painful.
Right?
Yes. You have to get out of the chair. You have to go find the card, all that stuff.
Well, and ideally the card isn't in your purse or wallet. It's tucked away somewhere even safer than that.
Right. With a little bit, a little bit more remove.
Right.
So the point is to slow yourself down, right? So if you erase those payment methods, it is one more way that creates fiction that stops impulse buying, because you can't quickly run past the, okay, I'm giving you all my money button. which is their intention. I'm going to add this one too. Ignore shopping suggestions from your social media feeds. People, I have friends who they're rolling through their Facebook feed and some, advertisement, some video selling a product comes up and they watch the video and then they decide that they have to have that object because the videos on Facebook are not like ads on the television. They're, they create a more, if they can get you to watch 10 minutes, they create a fancier, more alluring story about their product and get you to buy stuff. And so I think you don't want to watch those videos. Instead, seek out storytelling content or watch cat videos or marching band routines or TED Talks or any of the other gazillion things that you can watch on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. I have to tell you, my social media feeds are devoid of shopping for products videos because I never watch them. The algorithm has screened them out because I don't ever pick them. You get more of what you select. So if you keep looking at product videos, you'll keep getting them. Skip them and eventually they'll drop off your feeds and the temptation to buy will lower too. They're all about trying to create FOMO. And, if you don't watch the videos, you don't know the product exists and then you don't have to buy it. So stop watching. If you still want to shop, modify your shopping to shop for someone else's good instead. For instance, you can pick a charity that you support and go to their website. They likely have a things that we need list with goods or supplies that they need, and you can buy for them instead of for yourself. A pet rescue site will have food and supplies listed. A food bank will have items that they often run out of. A shelter will post needs for those they're serving. Maybe your church runs a program and you can support them with your shopping. You can still hunt for bargains, you can use coupons, you can get things shipped, etc. Just do it for the charity. Ship it directly to the charity. That way you can have the fun of shopping, but not add to your own home storage problems. If you can avoid it, don't ship the stuff to your house or you'll have to make the delivery yourself, which adds an errand to your day. For a long time before my mother died, she would buy pet food and supplies for a local shelter. She was really good about loading it in her car and running the errand at least, so it never backed up at her house. And she enjoyed the thrill of the employees unloading her car and being so excited to get the new stuff. So if you can trust yourself to actually run the errand, make the donation delivery yourself, and get the rush from the charity's excitement when they receive your donation. This is a great way to stop excess stuff from flowing into your house at least, even if it doesn't slow down your spending much. But, for the person who has everything, buying things for other people that need them is a way for you to spend money and to be having the shopping experience and not, impacting, damaging the contents of your home. Just a thought, just a way to think about it. Okay, those are my suggestions. And I'm ready to take commentary for anybody that wants to ask questions or make comments about it.
Let me share some comments. Connie says, we're still hunter-gatherers. It was a survival skill to find new things. It's true. And so,
it's true.
So that's why we still get, a chemical reward for the novelty of things.
Right. We are, it's baked into our biology 100%.
Anya says, I fixed slightly damaged panties with my sewing machine. There were 6, and one new one costs 40 euros. So I avoided quite some expenses. Yay.
Oh, that's awesome. Good job. Woo.
Let's see.
And you get to play with your sewing.
Anne says, I've been buying things as gifts. Gifts is in quotation marks. And now I'm donating many items from my overflowing ungifted gifts box.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's a specific person and event, I need to remember to wait until there's a true reason to buy.
100%.
And now I'm giving sentimental family items to family members who may truly enjoy it, like my childhood tea set to my grandniece.
There you go. I think that you're not alone in that gift pile. Creating a gift pile is a very convenient excuse to buy things that you don't need. So it's a way for you to say, no, I don't need it, but I'll give it as a gift someday. And so it just gives you, permission that you don't have to feel guilty about if you're buying it as a gift. But the problem is that people that do that use that excuse to buy stuff a lot, and then they end up with way more product than they actually have people to give to, or occasions that come up to give. And so it is something that you have to regulate that concept at all. And I think you made the point very clearly. Unless there's a specific person or occasion, you don't need to be buying it in advance. And so, having a gift pile that has, three or four things in it, in the moment, like if you have a little small gift pile because you suddenly get caught off guard. But the truth is, if you have to give a birthday gift late because you didn't know about the birthday, or like what gift emergency exists that requires that you actually resolve that gift emergency in the exact minute, I think there isn't any. And anybody that gets a gift will not care that the gift came a day late or the next week. They will be happy to get the gift no matter what. And so if you make the effort to give a gift, to find a gift and give a gift, the fact that it's not happening in exactly the moment that you found out about the need is not going to diminish the gift to the person that gives it. And so it's an artificial emergency that you have to have a gift in the right then.
And if someone gives you a hard time because their birthday gift was late, then you must shame them by pointing out that this is a seriously first world problem.
I know,
My birthday
right?
gift was late. Boo
Right.
hoo.
Boo hoo. And you still got one instead of getting nothing. So what do you want? Right. I
Right?
think, yeah, it's definitely a first world problem.
I think Suzanne had a comment that I think was in reaction to talking about the South Korean fake shopping sites.
Oh, right,
She
right.
says, haha, I just got the memory of playing Sims several years ago.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like the choosing of buying fancy stuff, but my house had a grass floor and I ended up causing a fire and losing a family member. I just couldn't keep up with obligations in the game. The end of my simulated shopping experience.
Oh man, the Sims that Sims environment was so funny. All the crazy things you could do in it. So that's funny. But at least you were, fake shopping in a fake environment. You weren't actually spending money while you were doing it. So good for you. I am intrigued by the idea of these fake websites, because the idea that you would order food and make your selections and modify the
And then
sauce
not,
and all this stuff, and then track the package coming to your door when there's no actual food that arrives. Like, I might feel a little cheated after that. I think it would certainly make me
yeah,
hungry, and then
yeah.
I would be like, but wait, I want the dumplings that I ordered. you know but the idea of like shopping and buying clothes and stuff, and then tracking the package, that to me seems like, okay, I can see why it would still be fun to watch and still be fun to do. It would just be like TV shopping. It's like, you're watching a TV show sort of. Anyway, I get why it would appeal, particularly because it's just the anticipation of it. It's the selecting and making the choices that's the fun.
Well, when I read that part, when I read about the fake sites, my brain instantly went to what is the business model? Where does the revenue come from? And I
Yeah, yeah,
have to
yeah.
think they must
For the people that make the
be
sites.
hooking users into a subscription or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
they're gonna have to fund it somehow, right?
They're going to have to pay for this thing somehow. I mean, like showing you advertising, maybe. So I'm not sure if they're showing you advertising.
Yeah, very
I'm
counterintuitive.
well and counterproductive.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
may end up leaving your fake shopping site for a real shopping site. I don't know.
Right?
Um, Connie says, I like to shop in quotation marks online for funny memes or sayings and sending them on. Of course, everyone's humor is different, but I think most folks like it. And I think that's a valid that's a I mean I that's kind of, I guess, in the category of it's another hobby. It's another
Yeah, yeah. You're watching content, you're finding things amusing, and you're sharing them. It's like telling jokes to people.
well, and there's probably the dopamine hit of when you find something you haven't seen before and you enjoy it and you're thinking about sharing it with other people. You're probably getting the same kind of
Mm.
satisfaction that shopping gives.
Well, and I have a group chat that has 10 people in it that's with my beadie friends, people that travel together and take classes together and stuff around beading. And we talk about beading in there, but we also randomly share funny things with each other in the chat. And so it's like we're telling a joke to the 10 people at once by posting the meme up. And, I get a kick out of playing that little short that somebody sends that is entertaining and funny. And, I didn't have to go find it. So I'm happy to watch what other people post in. So, yeah, knock yourself out, entertain your friends, share it with them, and don't spend money, right?
Elizabeth says, yes, I don't entirely trust myself, so we'll try fake sites and see how that goes. I don't know if there are any available outside. The article didn't mention
It did,
any outside of South Korea at this
mm-mm,
point.
no, not in that particular article.
Yeah. Um,
And we didn't do any research if there was any available in the United States yet, but
yeah, I didn't dig too deep into that. We do
a
not
good
need
project
to.
to research.
I think our audience will have plenty of material to distract themselves if they need to. Maureen says, I may have mentioned my basement gift table here before. It's where I keep fabulous items I find throughout the year at highly discounted prices to give for Christmas, birthdays, etc. Over the years, and thanks to Clutter Fairy viewing, I've realized I don't even know all I have down there as overflow has gone into Rubbermaid containers. I've bought
Uh-oh.
so much less over the last few years and really tried to give and clear off from whatever's on my gift table.
Good for you. So you're starting to shop your own store. Like that's the definition of shopping your own store. Open those Rubbermaid containers and find where the overflow is and start giving that stuff away. And you don't want a huge present management pile that you have to make room for and find ways to store if you don't go into it very often. So good job on you for getting in there and starting to disperse.
Anya says budgeting and putting an emergency fund aside helps a lot. I buy much less after starting that.
Oh, good. Because you're setting aside money to build the emergency fund so you can cover surprise expenses. That's good. That's very, you're doing, you're being grown up right now. That's good for you.
Well, I've been working on paying off the some last bits of credit card debt, and so it's made me super keenly aware of every expense. I realized um, parking. I have my parking app configured so those parking charges. Uh, I use Park Mobile. You have
I know what that is, but
yeah.
where do you have to use it?
Oh, we there are a lot of places we dine downtown that have
Oh,
that
I
we have to
see. I
pay to
see.
park.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and the parking charges are going on a credit card, I have realized. And
Row.
yeah, so I'll need to tweak that configuration because, don't want to be quietly running up more credit card debt,
Well, and
a
paying
dollar
interest on
95
parking
at a
charge.
time.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
True.
Um, Talking about things left in the cart, Diane says sometimes they send you a message, this now has a discount,
I know, right? Evil bastards.
right?
They're always trying to make you buy something, right? Yeah. Okay. So the fact that you have a discount is supposed to make me rush over and buy it. And I'm saying, let them, rush over and delete it when you go remove it from your cart when they do that. Oh my goodness. Marketers are clever, and those companies that sites that you shop, they want your money bad and they will do a lot of stuff to try to get it.
Suzanne says, I always go straight to the one-star reviews when I'm looking at something online.
Oh,
Very telling.
that's good.
The fake reviews are the fives, and 1 and 2 stars are more honest.
Right? And it helps burst the bubble of here's all the marketing material about the product and why we think you're going to love this product and why it's fabulous. And then you look at a bunch of, 5-star reviews that may or may not be real.
Right.
And so then you keep being convinced that it's all perfect and fine. And it's not. You know that nothing is exactly perfect. And so, what a great idea to just go straight to the low reviews and see what people say. And if the objections are, if you have one star review and that's all, then maybe you can say that's probably somebody who's disgruntled. But if there's
Right.
a bunch of them and they all say similar kinds of things, then the bloom goes off the rose at that point, and maybe it's easier for you to say, yeah, it looks good because the marketing is great, but that doesn't mean it's actually good according to the people that have touched it. Fair
Um,
point.
Jane, who was mentioning the new necklace she bought herself, says,
Oh,
sadly,
right.
I was influenced to buy the necklace due to an ad on Facebook. I think I'll love it, but will be more careful moving forward. I think this is the first time I've ordered something based on a Facebook ad. I'm guessing Google was watching my conversations and saw I was working on jewelry.
Oh
Oh,
God, isn't
indeed.
that
Yeah.
crazy? Yeah,
Yeah.
Siri probably heard you. Well, and I think you now that you've clicked on one and bought something,
Now you'll
you're going
see
to
a
see a
hundred
lot more
more.
products
Yes. Yeah.
videos coming through your feed. So be aware of that and try to ignore them. You don't need to be buying anymore. Just ignore them until they fade back down again.
Um,
That's okay. You were thinking about jewelry and you were gonna, you wanted to buy something anyway, and so they just provided the mechanism. But yeah, now just ignore them.
Deborah says, I keep a few emergency hostess gifts for if I'm unexpectedly invited to dinner. Homemade chutney I made, honey from a friend's bees, homemade soaps, I make it. They have their own small shelf, and if the holiday season is over, I use up those things for myself.
There you go. And I think, those were actually like they're things that you made or created. So they're part of your creative pursuits, or they're perishable goods like the honey that you're buying from the local honey person. And so you're buying hostess gifts that are not durable goods but usable goods, which I think is a good modification of what you're buying. And then the idea that you get to the end of the holiday season, like, okay, all my surprise invitations are going to be over now. And so I don't need to save these until next season. I need to pull them into my stock and use them up myself. So great job supplying stuff that's usable and then using it when it doesn't end up being given away in the season. And so it becomes a seasonal stock that appears and disappears. Really good job of having a rotating perishable emergency gift pile. Like that was a good job, Deborah. That is awesome. I'm proud of that setup
Uh,
that you did there.
CJ says maybe the fake shopping is just data collection on what interests people. And CJ is, I am certain, correct. And now that I
Right?
think about it, it's like, no, they don't need to charge you a subscription because what they're getting is who you are and what you are looking for,
What you're
and
interested in.
they will sell it to other people who will find ways to try to sell it to you.
Right? Yeah. Well, and ultimately the better solution, instead of all of the, managing our impulse control, uh, going to fake sites, putting it in the cart and abandoning it, all the things that we talked about doing. Really, what you need to do is an activity besides shopping. Like you need to move away from shopping as mood control and diversion and entertainment, and find something else that you find entertaining that doesn't involve you buying, and having packages shipped. And, I go to the way that Amazon works and the way that all these shopping sites work is you go and pick your 27 things and you get 18 packages that come. Like they don't put it all in one box and ship it to you. Everything goes in its own package and you get 14 packages on the front porch from the people, and you have to open them all and you end up with a big box with one little thing in it, and you have all the packing material that you have to deal with. It's like this whole added deal with the product shipping container process, in addition to, and now I have this tube of toothpaste that I didn't really want. Like there's so much involved with shopping online that creates downstream negative effects to you, that I find completely nullifies the value of the ease of online shopping. And so it's just so like, yeah, I hate going to the grocery store, but I also hate filling out a shopping cart for the grocery store in the app for HEB. Like it's just as annoying to me to online shop as it is to walk through the grocery store. At least if I walk through the grocery store, I can just randomly put things up and put them in a cart and roll away. Like the original experience of shopping at the grocery store.
Right.
It feels more direct to me. And anyway, that I know people find it super convenient, and people that have families, like being able to order something or do the whole shopping order at home at night while the kids are in bed, and then going to pick it up and having the shopping experience take 15 minutes instead of an hour and a half. Totally get why that's helpful for families. But extending that beyond, goods and services from the grocery store, and being able to shop online for whatever you want, whenever you want, it just creates so much downstream. You have no idea how much of my time as an organizer I spend opening packages that people have bought and have shipped to their house, and then the package just sits there because the fun was in the selecting, not in the getting.
Yeah.
And so I sit there and spend 2 hours opening 50 packages and dealing with all of the packaging and recycling all the boxes and and then here's this mound of stuff that we then have to decide where it's going to go and what we're going to do with it. And half the time people don't remember that they ordered it. I mean, I hear so many times, I didn't remember I bought that. I don't remember doing that. Where did that come from? Well, you bought it. Like, what are you asking me for? I don't know where it came from. You bought it. And so I will find packages that have been sitting there as a package for 2 years. And I'm opening it and I'm going, oh, well, you bought this in 2023. And they look at me with deer in the headlights, right? Like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, y'all been ignoring it for 3 years now. Like, and then I'm clearing out a space that has been covered with unopened packages for, a year and a half. And they haven't been able to see that floor because, things come in big boxes. Like you order a lampshade, it comes in it's like stacking moving boxes. Sometimes you order something and it takes up a lot of physical space. It's not just one little, toothpaste tube that came in a small package. But even so, if you're one of those people that comes home every day and there's 5 or 6 packages on the front porch, you need to back up. You need to back up and figure out what is happening, because that much management of stuff every day, you've just created a whole different level of item management that you don't have if you don't buy online like that. That processing of all the stuff at the front door goes away the minute you stop shopping online, and then you have to go out to a store to get it, and it's a whole different ball of wax that way. Oh, that's my response to online shopping, because I've spent so many years processing other people's packages and opening, like standing there and going, okay, here, you got this shipment. Let's open it up. Let's get the, box out of here. Let's get this put away. And I'll end up putting away 100 things that have been sitting there for, 2 years waiting for somebody to open the package. It's like, really? It's not even interesting enough to open the package when it comes. Like, why is that? Do you not see what has happened there? Like, if it shows up and you're not interested in even opening the box, then why was it worth buying to begin with? That's always my question. There you go.
I'm going to give the last comment to M, who says sometimes the urge to acquire material things is to fill a hole in one's life. Think Citizen Kane and Rosebud.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm not going to take the time to explain that. You're just going to have to go watch Citizen Kane if you haven't. It's a great movie. You really should.
Well, but her point is very valid. I think
Yes.
that shopping is, sometimes you have a mental, emotional issue that you're trying to carry and navigate and manage, and shopping is a good diversion for that. And I think our list of alternative things to do is something that it's a good substitute. Go learn something, go research a travel plan, go do anything, go for a walk, do anything to sit with and deal with the emotional struggle they're having besides shopping. I've been there. I've done that. I had a period in my life when I was very depressed, and shopping felt like the only thing that even remotely alleviated my issues. But the truth was, I was depressed and I needed medication to manage it. And when I started dealing with it like I should have, my crazy shopping, I wasn't doing it online back then. My crazy shopping stopped because I was actually dealing with what the problem was. So if you're trying to deal with that void, if you're trying to deal with an issue, the truth is dig in and try to find another way to support yourself, to be kind to yourself, to help yourself recover and deal with what's missing or what feels bad, because the shopping is temporary, and it is uh, expensive and damaging otherwise.
Okay. Lots of great comments
Mhm.
that we don't have time to get to, and something I wanted to talk about, but we didn't have time to cover is the Diderot effect. So this is sort of bonus homework for our audience. I've
Ah,
put a link to it in the chat, and I'll also include it in the show notes. But look up the Diderot effect. It's very interesting. It's about
Diderot.
Diderot. Yes,
Okay.
named after
Okay.
the French philosopher Denis Diderot. Okay. Let's talk about next week. We will be back at the usual time. We don't have a topic selected yet, so watch your email for an announcement. Gail, why don't you give us the tittle?
This week's weekly tittle is Mindfully Choosing Alternatives to Shopping. This week's assignment is to explore the disparity between how much you shop and how much you actually need. So reflect on your current needs, not wants, not wish lists, but items that you genuinely need right now to manage your home and your life. Consider your typical shopping habits. Are you fulfilling most of your real needs as they arise? How much excess stuff are you bringing home in the process of chasing those real needs? Try one of the suggestions we made in today's show for managing your shopping urges or finding alternative activities to replace some of your shopping. And spend a few minutes journaling about your experience and come back and tell us about it, because we really want to know if you start paying attention to how you're shopping and how much shopping excess you're doing. And if you try one of the alternatives, we really want to hear how it goes. So come back and tell us about it next week.
If you're watching this on YouTube, we'd love for you to join us live. To get notifications about upcoming events, please join the meetup group by visiting cfhou.com/meetup. You can also follow us on Facebook by visiting cfhou.com/Facebook, or join our mailing list by visiting cfhou.com/subscribe. We love to hear from our audience, so please keep your questions, comments, and topic suggestions coming on YouTube, Facebook, or anywhere that you find us. You can always reach us through our website at clutterfairyhouston.com.
And you know what? One thing that we didn't say, an alternative to shopping online is going onto our YouTube channel and watching YouTube videos that we put out about organizing. You can go, listen to us chatter and talk and support you in organizing something instead of shopping for something to add to the pile.
You,
We're happy for you to do
yes,
that. And if you do, please subscribe so that you can get notifications that when we
when the
put
new
the
one's up.
new videos up. Okay. Thanks for joining us today. We love you guys so much, and we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.